I think it's been the hardest job in this building. Ryan, well, come on board. You're first in your class and vice president of the National Honor Society. And you work as a research fellow at the Cleveland Clinic Lutheran Hospital. You want to become a hematologist or an oncologist. And you're going to go to a very fine school, Washington University in St. Louis. Are you ready for your question?
I'm ready, Mr. Prince.
The question is, Ryan, what is the hardest thing about being in high school today?
The hardest thing about being in high school today is achieving a life of balance. Students have to balance schoolwork, extracurricular activities, religious commitments, and sometimes that gets a little bit overwhelming, especially when you have peers that aren't as supportive as these fine people over here. Watch your step, retard, they yelled as they tripped Maggie, knocking her head first into the uncaring brick wall. She fell to her knees, looked up at her tormentors, and immediately broke down. Tears welled up in her defenseless eyes as she questioned why this had to happen to her, why she had endured the torture of public humiliation. Yet, her attackers did not relent. Learn how to walk, retard, they laughed as they stepped away, giving her no more attention than the crumpled up pieces of paper that lie next to her on the dirty floor. Many students walked by her. No one acted. No one took a single second out of their lives to help this innocent victim who had been bullied because she was in special education. With tears still streaming down her cheeks, I ran over to help her. I found her student aid and Maggie quickly felt better, but I knew that the deeper problem of unprovoked hatred remained. Maggie's attack was outright grotesque and wholly unforgivable. Yet for me, it became a life-changing experience that exposed me to the cruel reality of my high school environment. This display of hatred opened my eyes to the infectious poison of discrimination that pervaded my classmates. Eagerly, they would ostracize others, giddily identifying the differences that made their fellow students inferior or worthless. Unfortunately, special education students were their chief victims. Because they weren't the carbon copy of the normal person, they became plagued by a chronic hatred that devalued them to a subhuman level. Idly watching my classmates' hatred wasn't accomplishing anything. In fact, by standing by, I was enabling their actions. It was time for me to take a stand against the contagious acts of discrimination that contaminated my high school. With the full support of National Honor Society, I am leading a campaign that will end discrimination. After being elected Vice President of NHS, entering a partnership with Special Olympics became my top priority. By assisting with special education student dances, fundraising activities, and sports events, the National Honor Society sets a new standard for all other students to follow. We demonstrate that by embracing the differences that historically set us apart are of no importance. We're proving, day by day, that it is what we share, a love of knowledge, friendship, and competition, that ultimately brings us together. I will make sure that no special education student suffers from the poison that is discrimination. I will utilize my high school's television news program to promote my campaign against the derogatory term retard, so that no one, absolutely no one, experiences the degradation and helplessness that Maggie felt as she lay on that cold hallway floor. I will appear on the daily news program and address my 1,400 other classmates, and I will educate. I will explain how incredibly perverse and how exceedingly unacceptable both hate and discrimination are. I will then lead a school-wide campaign by pledging, on air, to spread the word to end the R word, and encourage others to do the same. Words. They are hateful and indelible. They promote violence, incite anger, and even cause death. However ironic, words can also be used to make peace and correct past mistakes. Slowly, yet surely, I am using my voice to end discrimination. Thank you.